couple of years ago, I made a video and I titled it My Favorite Death Metal Guitar Rig. And in the video, I showed how I use my Peavey 6534 Plus and my 5150 in a stereo guitar rig setup. To this day, that's one of my most viewed videos. I was kind of surprised at how many people were actually interested in a death metal guitar rig, especially because it was just a camera, audio, video, very bare bones kind of thing. But I decided to redo that video, kind of update it, actually put some mics on the cabs, and also bring in the Mimiq doubler pedal. I'll put a picture of it, I guess, up here. I've used this pedal off and on over the years. One thing, it does kind of create a wider stereo sound when you're running two guitar amps, which is really cool, but it also brings in a lot of hiss. Like the hiss that's already there, it just kind of jumps up when you use this pedal and you're using high gain. So I'll show my setup. I got a couple of noise gates. I got a noise gate, a Fortin Zool on the 5150, and then I have a ISP decimator G-string on the 6534 Plus, just to kind of silence everything because it gets noisy. And it's working out pretty well. You know, if I decide to take this rig out live, again, I'll probably put together a pedal board to kind of make things a little more streamlined and easier, quicker to set up, because my band Mutual Hostility is considering playing some live shows, and if that happens and I'm able to take this rig to wherever we're playing, this is probably what I'll be playing. I've also considered looking into some sort of digital guitar rig in case I can't take a full guitar rig like this somewhere, like maybe a quad Cortex, but those are so expensive that it's kind of hard to pull the trigger on one of those, but we'll see. But anyway, I'm going to demo this with the Mimiq doubler on and off so you can see the difference and play some riffs. So yeah, check it out. This is the Mimiq doubler. It has a few different controls on here to determine how much of the effect you're using. I try to keep it to a minimum. I don't want it to sound weird like there's some major effect, but I still want to be able to hear the stereo widening effect that it has. I have the Fortin Zool. I'm using the key input, and it's also in the loop. I decided to use my Lila P-split. I talked about that in my other video. It's a passive splitter, and the reason I did that was because I don't know if the Mimiq will actually make sure that the amps are in phase or not. And with the P-split, there is a phase button on there, and it's very important to get the amps in phase to get the full sound of your amps. And yeah, it just sounds better if you get them in phase. So I'm using that, running this stereo, and then I have the decimator G-string on the 6534 Plus. It's in the loop. Use 4 cables on this. If I decide to take this rig out live again, I'll probably put together a pedal board to make this a little more streamlined and a little quicker for setup and teardown. But anyway.